What's up, YouTube? This is another episode of Musket Theory. This is episode 3, where we talk about the Magical Musketeer deck and how it is in this current format. I'm Phantom Yu-Gi-Oh! This is the third episode. I've already put out, I guess 3 other videos, but only 2 deck profiles. Go check those out if you haven't seen them already. Links are in the description below. I'll just give you a quick recap. In episode 1, I go over the Musketeers archetype and talk about its strengths and weaknesses and how I think the deck should be built. And in that one, I give a going second build. Then in episode 2, I provide a going first build with a combination with a different archetype, which is World Legacy. So that one's really interesting, really fun, and I actually think it's the best version of the deck. In this episode, we're going to be going over both of those decks and giving updates. So I'll be doing 2 deck profiles in this video. We lost Pot of Desires from 3 to 1, so we do need to make some changes to those decks. And we also have a new meta. We have a lot of new decks coming in. We have a lot of new engines we have to deal with. Back in those videos, we didn't have DPE yet. We didn't have Brave Token Engine. We didn't have this whole problem of Artifact Scythe. So we have to take a look at those things, see what cards we can play to give us a chance of not insta-losing. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to go over kind of a meta-analysis for the February 22 ban list. And then we're going to go into 2 deck profiles, and I'll talk about my card choices in each. And, yep, so let's go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual. Let's get in there. Okay, so for this video, we're going to be doing something kind of like MST.TV does a great series on kind of what hand traps are best for each meta, what are the best going second cards. But this one is specifically for the Musketeer deck. So we're going to be taking a look at the typical end boards we're going to expect to see, typical engines we're going to have to deal with, and then we're going to look at the options we have to play in muskets and which ones are the best to solve specifically the problems of the Musketeer deck. And most notably, if you recall, identified that the biggest issue for a musket deck is that it's very reliant on the survival of its normal summons. So we have to take a look at these boards. We have to see what can get rid of our normal summon as a quick effect. For example, destroy Phoenix Enforcer. We have to be able to deal with that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at the end boards. And here I've identified let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess, end boards or kind of common things we're going to have to deal with this format. So first we have the Brave engine, and if you guys are not familiar, that just came out in Grand Creators, where it's pretty much just a negate, where they have to have this monster called Griffin on the field, plus a Brave token. We're going to be seeing a lot of Artifact Scythe. It's kind of the last combo-based Floodgate, now that Protoss is banned. So we're going to have to be dealing with that a lot, I bet. And this is Scythe off of a Dagda and Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, specifically not from an Artifact Sanctum. We're not going to be seeing that too much in any main decks. The next deck or board we're going to have to deal with is Destroy Phoenix Enforcer plus Invoked Mechaba plus Dogmatica Punishment. We're going to assume we're going to have to go into that. The next one is the Sword Soul end board. So we have Baron, Shishao, and Sword Soul Blackout is a kind of fairly typical one. So we're just going to assume that as a baseline end board. Next we have Virtual World. I think Virtual World is going to be making a pretty good comeback this format because there's a third E-Telly and stuff like Lyrilisk has been nerfed. So we're going to have to deal with Chuche, which is a big problem because it just pops her normal summon on summon. And then they're going to back it up with a Crystal Wing or something, or like a Shen Shen, so we're going to have to deal with that. Dragon Link is going to be back because people are going to be excited to play Destrudo, so we're going to have to deal with Heretic Seals and some kind of negate or two, kind of like Borreload Savage and Hot Red Archfiend Abyss. And then the last deck that everyone's so excited to play against is Skill Drain Eldritch. So we'll just address that one as well. So those are the 7 end boards we're going to be kind of taking a look at. And then I have some cards on the left side here, which are kind of our options to play into those. So we have Cosmic Cyclone, we have Impermanence and Forbidden Chalice, we have Dark Ruler No More, We have Lightning Storm and Raigeki. I kind of grouped those together, and obviously against the back row deck, Lightning Storm is going to be better, but they kind of do the same thing. We do have 3 Raigeki now, but in general, Lightning Storm is probably the better card because we really need to clear those problems before we make our normal summon. We're not going to usually be able to normal summon and then activate a normal spell card before having to deal with a whole bunch of these issues. So that's why Raigeki is kind of not awesome, but we'll see how it goes against these matchups. We have Triple Tactics Talent. It's just a general card that I think will come up. We have Mind Control as an option. Always been good in muskets, but again, it's a normal spell card. We'll see how that goes. And then the last one we're going to be looking at is Call by the Grave, and we'll see how that matches up against these decks here. So instead of how MST TV does it, where they go through one by one, I'm just going to show you the filled out board. So here we have red X for basically the choice does nothing against the matchup. We have a yellow dash, which means it's okay, but it doesn't completely solve our problems. We have a plus, which means it's good, and we have a double plus, which means it's very good and it's the best option. So as we can see, we have Cosmic Cyclone first. Does nothing against the Brave Engine, so there's an X, but it does do very well into Scythe DPE. For example, even if it's the standby phase or main phase or on normal summon, if they activate DPE, you chain Cosmic Cyclone to banish the artifact Scythe, and then they have to deal with whatever other, or they have to pop something else, and they don't get Scythe off. This doesn't really help you avoid the DPE part, because they might get to pop your monster if they wait for normal summon, but if they do it in the draw phase or standby phase, Cosmic Cyclone completely eliminates this problem. Cosmic is good into Dogmatica Punishment, clearing that, because the punishment on your normal summon is no good. Same with Sword Soul Blackout, we'll just clear that right away. They do get the token off the Blackout effect, but it's better to just clear that and then make a normal summon afterwards, because we can't normal summon into a Blackout. It's just going to be a bad day. Clearing Chuche is great, especially banishing it, because then they don't get to use Chuche banish effect. So there's a double plus there. It does pretty much nothing into Dragon Link unless they're setting Tidying, but I don't expect that to be too common, and they're pretty much going to depend on their Seals and Savage and Abyss. But if they do happen to set a back row like Imperm or Droplet or Tidying, then yeah, Cosmic Cyclone can be relevant. So there's potential for like a yellow dash here. And then Skill Drain and Eldritch, of course. Yep, clears Skill Drain. Yep, clears Conquistador. They don't get to replace it. So overall, Cosmic Cyclone is kicking butt in this meta. The only thing it doesn't deal with is Brave Engine. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's dead against decks that play Brave Engine, because they could also have back row. And same with Dragon Link. It could be there, but we'll see. Alright, next card we're going to talk about is Infinite Impermanence, or Forbidden Chalice. These have kind of different applications a little bit. Imperm can be used as a hand trap, but Chalice can be activated under your Musket card. So we're going to see, we're going to have to think about which one of those two we want to play. But as you can see, it deals with a lot of the problems in the meta. Against Brave Engine, it just stops the negate, so that's good. Against Scythe, if they Scythe in draw phase or standby phase, or before you normal summon in general, then Imperm will do the trick. If not, if they wait till you normal summon to dodge the Imperm, then Chalice will be better, and Chalice can stop the Scythe or just stop the DPE. It's good into DPE Mechaba. It can just clear one of those cards, and again, if they wait until you normal summon to activate the DPE, then you can still use Chalice in response, or you can pre-Imperm or Chalice before you summon. So yeah, either way, but Chalice will trigger your Musket, so that's another benefit there. It just stops the Baron, so that's good. It's just 1-for-1 with Baron. It's 1-for-1 with Crystal Wing or Shen Shen. pretty much. So that's a plus. But I might actually switch this to a dash, because honestly the problem with virtual world is Chuche. So it's alright. If they happen to summon a negate like Crystal Wing, it's good, but Chuche is the real problem because they won't even have to negate anything if they just pop the normal summon and we have to pass turns. So against Dragon Link, it's good. It just trades 1-for-1 into one of their negates, or you can just activate it on seals before you commit a normal summon, and then it won't get the bounce effect, which is the biggest problem for our deck to deal with. And then into Eldritch Skill Drain, it does nothing, so as usual. Alright, Dark Ruler no more. Similar deal. Pretty much whenever Impermanent Chalice are good, Dark Ruler's a little better, but there's some exceptions. It doesn't do anything into Scythe if they do it during standby phase. In that case, the quick play spells are a bit better. But in every other case, Dark Ruler clears it clears one threat and every threat. So it'll clear DPE Mechaba, it'll clear Baron Chisao, it'll clear Shen Crystal Wing. Obviously, Dark Ruler just negates the board, they can't respond. So, and it's very, very good into Dragon Link board. And again, doesn't do anything to Eldritch, but what can you do? Okay, on to the next. We have Raigeki and Lightning Storm. So into the Brave Engine, yeah, it'll just trade 1-for-1 with the negate. Into Scythe DPE does nothing, because they will get DPE back, and they'll just chain DPE, and the Scythe will get popped, and then on the next chain link, Scythe will get summoned and lock you out. So not really good there. Against DPE Mechaba, it just trades 1-for-1 into the negate, but with the punishment there, punishment will just hit you if you clear their monsters, or if you clear their back row, then DPE will still be there. So it's okay. It's okay. It'll bait a negate or clear the punishment, I guess. So we're going to put a dash here for Lightning Storm. Or if you Raigeki, then they'll have to negate probably, so it's okay. Into Virtual World, it's also okay. It doesn't deal with Chuche, so that's no good. Obviously Lightning Storm does, but I don't know. I just feel like this is kind of subpar into most of these boards, because just trading 1-for-1 but not necessarily clearing the problem card, which is whatever card clears your normal summon, is just not the best. Dragon Link, a whole bunch of the same, just trades for negate. And then obviously Lightning Storm into Eldritch, pretty good. Yeah, they'll recycle, but you might be able to OTK or something, so that's fine. And they can only recycle the Eldritch cards, so if they have any other like Floodgates or Solemn Strikes or whatever set, then they lose those. Obviously that is Lightning Storm only and not Raigeki. Raigeki does nothing into Eldritch, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're gonna play Storm or Raigeki, I would play Storm every time. I think it's just straight up better. There's never a case where you're gonna be able to normal summon a Musket and then activate Raigeki before they go Punishment, before they go DPE, before, you know, Chuche, whatever. You're just gonna lose your monster and there's no point. Okay, talents. Everything with a yellow dash means they activate a monster effect to resolve their engine. So pretty much you have to deal with whatever they have, and then you draw 2, or hand rip, or steal, or whatever. So it doesn't stop anything, obviously. That's just the nature of talents. So yeah, it's pretty average across the board. I put an X on Virtual World because they might not even activate a monster effect if they just Chuche. So yeah, it's got an X there, but everywhere else, well, and obviously an X on Eldritch, but everywhere else, no good. I do want to note on Eldritch, if they are playing Dogmatica Punishment, Talents is live, so consider that. It's not 100% dead against Eldritch, so there might be something there, but yeah. On to Mind Control. Mind Control just trades into everything with a plus here. It'll just bait one negate. against, yep, it'll just bait 1 negate into Sword Soul as well. I'm not sure why I put a minus. I think I put a minus because the real problem is Blackout and not Baron. Whereas here the real problem is like DPE, and here the real problem is Seals, and here well, I guess just against this engine I've only identified one problem, so it deals with it. But Mind Control has 3 X's and probably not so good. The last card here is Called By. Pretty much doesn't stop any of the on-field threats except for Scythe. If they pop Scythe, you can Called By the Scythe and it'll get banished, it won't come out. And then if you Called By Heretic Seals, it'll stop both effects, which is awesome. So Called By is the best card into Dragon Link board, but everything else it's kind of dead. And we have a dash on Eldritch just because you can banish a Golden Lord and it might be good. So yep, that's pretty much it for our analysis. Now if we take a look, first we're going to rule out Called By. It's pretty much dead. Then we're going to rule out Mind Control. It's dead against too much. We're going to add in Cosmic for sure. Cosmic is very good against a lot of this stuff, and it's almost always going to be live, going second in this format. Now we have Imperm Chalice, and I do think these are worth playing, and I think it has to be Chalice just for the utility of stopping Scythe in the main phase, and for triggering muskets if you need it to. So it's always good to have stuff to trigger muskets. I think Chalice is definitely the better card here. Plus, if you're only going to be playing one hand trap, like Imperm, one hand trap's not going to really stop anything. So the bonus of being able to activate Imperm during your opponent's turn doesn't really matter for turn 1. And if you have to go first, you can set both of these and they do the same thing effectively. We're going to be playing Dark Ruler just because it, look how, amazing it is against so many of these decks. Yeah, you're going to have to eat the dead cards in hand against Eldritch. Granted, you can still activate it and proc Musket effect, and they just take no damage, but yeah, and then against Scythe in the standby, no good. Lightning Storm Raigeki, it can be played. I think it's alright, and if I had a Lightning Storm, I might consider it. I'm gonna opt not to play these, but it's definitely an option to play Lightning Storm. I would absolutely not play Raigeki at all. I think it's just bad. Talents, I'm gonna play, and the reason is that it's almost never dead. Yeah, okay, we have 2 X's here, but it also will hit anytime your opponent has hand traps, and your opponent's always gonna have hand traps, so you're pretty much always going to be able to activate it. Plus, now that Desires is gone, we kind of need some source of draw power, and that's also another main reason why I think Talents is worth playing. We just need the draw 2 in this deck to be able to keep on going, to be able to clear boards. And even though it's not optimal to clear boards, that's just how Talents is. We are going to try to play a little bit of a combo oriented version. We're gonna have to chug through some boards, and we're gonna have to keep drawing cards or clearing cards, stealing cards. So Talents is just too good of a card not to be played, I think. Yeah, so, and then Mind Control and Called By are out. So now let's get into the deck list. You already know we're gonna be playing Talents, Dark Ruler, Chalice, and Cosmic. And now let's see, those are kind of our board breaking cards, and now let's take a look at what our engine cards are, which musket cards we're playing, and what other side engines we're playing, to give us some gas to really break through these boards and hopefully OTK on turn 2, and if not, turn 4. Yeah, let's check it out. Okay guys, we're going to do the going second build first, since we just talked about all the going second cards. So we'll get right into that. First we have our Musketeer lineup of 3 Caspar, 3 Starfire, 3 Kid Brave, and 2 Calamity. Again, just playing the Calamity, no Dock, no Wild,
because we want to be pushing, we want to be link climbing and summoning as many monsters as possible. Not really focused on the grind game, not really focused on recycling those spells and traps. So we just want to get monsters on board. The next monster we're playing is a little interesting for the format. We're playing 3 Alpha Master of Beasts, and that may be a little weird and a little confusing, but let's take a look at how Alpha matches up against all of those end boards that I was talking about before.
Okay, quick cut to here. Let's see how Alpha matches up. So for the Brave Engine, Alpha can just attack over the Griffin. So we can go ahead and put a plus there. We can attack over the Griffin, or we can bait the Griffin with Alpha effect. For Scythe, Alpha doesn't do anything, but it's pressure without using the extra deck. So we can, if they go DPE Scythe, then we can summon Alpha and potentially just bounce back the DPE, and they've already burned their pop, and then swing over Scythe or something like that. So it gives us a way to put pressure without extra deck. For DPE Mechaba Punishment, Punishment a lot of times will not be able to hit the Mechaba because they're not playing anything big enough in the extra deck. So it's good there. It lets us just swing over the DPE because it's big enough, and then we can activate effect targeting or trying to hit Mechaba and force the Mechaba negate. So it outs 2 of the 3 things in this board. Alright, now let's look at Baron Chixiao Blackout. We go ahead, we summon Alpha, we attack over Chixiao, which means Blackout is not live anymore, and then we activate effect, trying to bounce Baron and bait the Baron negate. And then after that, we're free to do whatever we want. We've effectively outed all 3 of those cards, so that definitely gets a plus. Chuche, Crystal Wing Shen Shen, Alpha's not the best because Chuche can just pop Alpha, but at least we've baited Chuche before normal summoning a Musket, so I give that a dash because it deals with the problem and lets us proceed with Musketeer plays. Against Seals plus Negate, Alpha is pretty solid because we can special summon Alpha more than once per turn. So if we summon Alpha and then go battle phase, they have to bounce with the Seals before we swing over. And then in main phase 2, we can summon Alpha again, beta negate, and then normal summon a Musket and proceed with plays. So I think Alpha is really strong into here. And then again, Skill Drain Eldritch. It's just a 3000 body that you can special summon and not worry about skill drain. Really, you're not gonna be able to use Alpha effect, obviously, but it's just something that can beat over a Golden Lord or beat over whatever they have. It will get popped with Conquistador, and therefore you're kind of still gonna be in trouble a little bit. But it's just a backup way to put pressure on against the Eldritch board. Plus, if they're playing There Can Be Only One, you can summon Alpha and summon Musketeers and potentially go into like Nightmare Phoenix. So it's good that way as well. So overall, it's not bad against anything, and I think it's definitely worth playing in our deck that wants to break boards.
Okay, and then back to our monsters. We're playing as the last 2, one Ecclesia, one Fleur-de-Lis. And I know back in episode 1 I said I would not be playing Dogmatic of Musketeers, but here we are. We lost Pot of Desires, and we need a new power spell to make us go plus. So Nadir Servant, I think now is the way to go. Plus, Ecclesia and Fleur are both just straight up extenders. Ecclesia doesn't lock you out of the extra deck unless you search. So if you open Ecclesia, you can just use it as an extender if you want to, or you can end your turn with the Search of Fleur, whichever one is better off for you. So very versatile cards, and I think it's still good. And Nadir is a great board breaker just by sending Entis. So I think in this going second build, the Dogmatica package is the way to go. Alright, on to the spells. I won't talk about them much because we already talked about them extensively. We have 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Chalice, 3 Cosmic, 3 Triple Tactics Talent, 3 World Legacy Succession. Now we're back into some tech. This is, I think, an amazing extender because it gives us access to Lib in the extra deck. And Yeah, we just need gas. In this deck, we need gas to link climb and to break the boards with link monsters. We have 2 Nadir Servant. And then our last 3 spells, we're going to be playing 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Instant Fusion. We just want something to let us extend as a spell. And then 1 Upstart Goblin just to proc muskets and do a little digging. Alright, that's it for the spells. Aside from the 1 Crossdown that we're going to play, 1 Desperado, 1 Dancing Needle, and 1 Crooked Crown. I think Dancing Needle is really strong because it lets us stop our opponent's follow-up. For example, Phantom Knights, we can banish Phantom Knight stuff, we can banish Virtual World stuff, we can banish Tennies out of the Sword Soul graveyard, banish DPE. If we encounter DPE, we can search the Dancing Needle and then get rid of that problem by banishing DPE and the Dasher so that they can't Celestial. So it's just really strong against the meta right now at stopping follow-ups. And then for our going second build extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 max. We're going to max every single turn that we have, so we might as well play 3 just in case we do go 3 turns. Playing 1 Lib because of the successions lets us go into Lib, and it's probably it's the best board breaker in here because it's a non-target shuffle. We're playing 1 IP, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 Lina. All of our monsters are light, so we can go ahead and summon back Eldritch, summon back Effect Veiler, summon back Chi-Shao, any of that kind of stuff. And then for our link 3s, we're going to play 1 Unicorn, 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. We're playing Alpha and Fleur-de-Lis, both of which we can link into BLS with to get the big non-targetable, indestructible effect. And then for our link 4s, we're playing 1 Avermax just to combo with the IP, hopefully IP and Lib, to get us a shuffle and a hard to get over monster. And then we have the Boral Sword and Access Code, just OTK machines. And then our last 3, we're playing the 1 Millenniumize for Instant Fusion, playing 1 Relinquished Anima to use that Millenniumize for. I know it's 2 extra deck slots for the 1 Instant Fusion that we may or may not see. So you can cut the Anima if you want, but I just like it because nobody really plays around it, so it's just an extra advantage we can have. And then the last card is the Entis for the Nadir Servant. We're not playing Titaniclad because we're just playing Ecclesia Fleur, so we're not playing the Punishment, so we have nothing that we need to search with Titaniclad. And that's about it for the going second extra deck. Alright, let's check out our going first build now. We have 3 Caspar again, 3 Starfire, 3 Kid Brave, and 2 Calamity. Just same reasoning, just want to crank out monsters, link climb, and OTK on turn 3, so we don't need to worry about Dock or Wild or anything like that. Then we're playing 3 Mechanite purple, and then 1 Indigo, 1 blue. Same reason as discussed in episode 2. They're just extenders. They let us use Lib to set or Legacy secrets just for more interruption, and they give us a chance when we lose die roll and have to go second. These cards are all really good going second because of Max, because of Mechanites just inherently. So going first or second is not a huge deal. Then the last 2 cards, we have the Dogmatica cards, Ecclesia and Fleur. Pretty much standard for Nadir targets. Okay, on to the spells. We are again playing 3 Photon Sanctuary. This is just a double extender, so it's a +1 card on its own, plus another +1 if we activate it under a Musketeers. So just gets us 3 monsters on board. Say we go Starfire Sanctuary, we end up with 4 monsters, and we can just link climb, do whatever we need to do there. So that's pretty awesome. We're playing 3 Succession just for more gas, and then 3 Survivor to dig for Succession or dig for Awakens. We're playing the 1 Memory just to summon out Mechanites at the end of our turn, or proc Musketeers on our opponent's turn to get a purple out. We're playing 2 Triple Tactics Talent. I hate playing 2-ofs, I really do, but I needed to cut down to 40. I had 3 and was at 41 and decided just to cut it down. We're playing the 2 Nadir Servant that we're allowed to play, and then we're playing 1 Upstart Goblin just to make columns, proc muskets, all that good stuff. Alright, now for our Musketeer spell traps, we're playing 1 Crossdom, 1 Desperado, 1 Crooked Crown. I think these are the best ones going first. Realistically, we're just going to search 1 on our first turn because we're only going to get 1 cast bar search. We can't use max turn 1 for search, so we're just going to get whichever one we need, and then on turn 3 we're going to get the other 2, and hopefully that's enough to win the game. We don't really need more than that. We're going to search them all the time. We're going to break boards with them. We're going to extend with Crooked Crown and be set to go. And then our other traps, we're playing 2 Awakens and 1 Secret. These are all survivor targets. We're going to be setting these off of Lib on turn 1 every game. So yeah, they're just really strong. Check out episode 2 for how to best take advantage of Awakens using our extra deck. And then we're playing the 1 Punishment, of course. This is a going first build, so Punishment's fine. And even though it does lock us out of extra deck turn 3, Punishment can just win games on its own sometimes, so that's really strong. Alright, now for the extra deck, we're playing 3 max. As always, you know, we're going to go into max every turn, even on turn 1, to make columns for our Mechanites. So I need to play 3 of these. We're playing 2 Lib, the star of the extra deck. The whole point of the whole deck, honestly, is to crank out Lib. I'd even consider bumping up to 3. We're playing 1 IP and 1 Hip Hoshiningen. Hip we need to actually go into quite a lot with the Photon Sanctuary tokens just to either make a column with them or Legacy Survivor. Yeah, so don't write this card off. It's decent. And then the 1 Secure Gardener, so we can link off Lib. When all we have is Lib, we can just link it off for Secure and get that shuffle effect. Or if all we can do is make Lib and set Awakens, we can just pass turn and then Awakens away the Lib for Secure Gardener for a shuffle. Our other Awakens targets, we have Unicorn and Trisbana. Again, watch episode 2 for how to use Trisbana with Awakens for a nice combo. Essentially, we're going to have Lib, another monster, and a musket that summons, for example, Starfire. So we go ahead and use Lib effect to set Awakens under the Starfire, activate Awakens, linking Lib and the other monster for Trisbana. Starfire will activate, summoning a Musketeer, and we'll put it under one of the arrows and wipe the board. So if our opponent, for example, goes set 5 on turn 2, you know, if we go first, they go second, they go ahead and set 5 like they're playing Eldritch or something, we can do this Trisbana combo, wipe their board, and win the game. And it's a similar concept for Appaloosa. We can not worry about Dark Ruler no more. We can link away 3 materials, including Lib, into an Appos, so we can go ahead and shuffle and then end up with 3 negates after that. Our other link 4s, Access Code and Boral Sword, just to close out the game on turn 3. And then we have our 2 fusion targets, Entis and Titaniclad, for the Dogmatica package. In general, I think I do like the going first build a little bit better just because it lets us be proactive, lets us make the board, and doesn't really put us on, you know, did we draw the out for the several decks in the meta that we have to deal with that all have different outs. So I'd rather build a board and try to deal with it that way than try to draw to break the board. But the good thing about muskets is that they are a deck built to break boards. So if you like the going second build, you're not, you know, totally dead in the water. We still have a chance. We can still do stuff with the deck. So whichever one is more your style, I encourage you to play. But either way, this deck and archetype is great. Stick with this series because I'm going to keep giving you updates. Every format's going to be different. We're always going to be playing different cards, different strategies. I'm looking forward to a time where I do play Dock and Wild and, you know, play all of the Musketeer spell traps because the meta might shift where they're good and, you know, the better option. So let me know what you guys think, and let's jump back over and I'll show you guys the full deck lists all together on screen.
Okay, really quick, just so you guys can see it on the screen. This is our whole going second build. You can see it all at once here. I like the deck. I think it's fun. It's just, I think the going first one is a little better just because you can be proactive. Because the meta is just so diverse, it's so hard to build going second right now. Because it's not like, oh, I only have to deal with monster negates. You know, you can also have to deal with pops, you have to deal with locks, and all that kind of stuff. So, it's kind of a pain to go second right now, but Musketeers are really good at going second because of Max, so we just go ahead and play this, and I think this is our best chance that we have. For going first, here's the deck that I just showed you guys. I really like this one. Not gonna lie to you, I think it's great. I think it's a ton of extenders, ton of plays. Going first or going second with this deck is pretty decent. So you have a lot of chances with this build, and this is definitely the way I think you should go. This is my favorite build of Musketeers right now, and let me know what you guys think. Alright fellas, that'll do it for episode 3. I had a great time filming this. I had a great time putting these decks together, testing them a whole bunch just to give you guys the best version of the deck that I could give. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you are enjoying this series, please give a like, please give a subscription, because I would love to keep going with this once at least every format, plus in between when, you know, the format's getting a little stale. I've been working on a ton of hybrids with Musketeers. I'll just give you a little preview. I've been working on a Musketeer Cosmo deck with our triple E-Telly, and then trade in with the Dark Destroyer and Parallel Exceed. And then we have Cosmoton that we can pop with our own Desperado to get searches, so it's a whole ton of fun with that build, I'll be honest with you. And then I've also been trying to combo with Unchained, with Abomination's Prison and Wailing of the Unchained Souls as spells we can activate under Musketeers. So I got a ton of ideas, guys, and I would love to share them with you. Just give me a little support with just a like and a subscribe, and I will bring those to you guys for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about these two builds. I hope you have fun this format playing these, because I'm definitely gonna be playing the going first build. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Have a lot of fun, and I am excited to see you guys in the next one of Musket Theory. Have a good one, guys. Thanks.